listen to you. And I love the story I heard recently. It was about two friends. One was a Sikh, which is a type of religion, and one is a Muslim, which is another type of religion. Two competing ideologies, two belief systems that do not line up, do not believe the same thing whatsoever. And this picture totally warmed my heart because this Sikh realized that his Muslim friend did not have a place to worship in his hometown. And he, instead of arguing with him and being like, well, you don't need a place to worship, you can just come with me because we're right anyway. Or instead of saying, well, you know what, how about you just do any other religion because your religion's stupid, right? Instead of doing that, that green building that you see in the picture was built by the Sikh man with his bare hands so his friend could have a place to worship. And just look at their faces there. They are so happy. Can you imagine what would happen in the lives of your friends or your family, or the people you go to school with, if you stopped trying to argue or convince them that they're wrong or right, or you stopped butting heads, you stopped being mean to them, whatever it may be, you actually loved them instead? Because I can guarantee you, what spoke more for the Sikh's religion wasn't him arguing against the Muslim. It was him building that mosque and saying, hey man, I love you this much. That's what could get into the hearts and the minds of other people. And you're going to have the opportunity to do that this year because you're going to step into the same classrooms with the same people, sometimes different. You're going to start to see the same people every single day. And you know what happens when you start to see somebody every single day? They get on your nerves! Man, people over an extended period of time suck. After a long time, like I'm tired of being around you. You're going to have people who get under your skin. You're going to have somebody who says really mean things to you. You're going to have somebody you thought who was really nice to you, and then they just like slide in some snarky comment, and you're just like, am I supposed to like go along with that? You're going to have people you don't get along with, people who make fun of you, and you're going to have a moment where in that split second, you're going to have a choice to make. Whether or not you can let that person get the better of you and get in your head, or you can actually do what Jesus says to do and love them. The problem, though, is that most Christians in America are not doing that well, and that might be why the church in America, the only place in the world that the church is declining. Everywhere else, Christianity is booming. America, their churches are losing people left and right. And it's because you have a lot of people who say that they believe in Jesus, and then a lot of people who don't really live that out. You have a lot of people with a lot of talk and not a lot of walk. And if you're not a Christian in the room, I guarantee you one of the main reasons that you probably made that choice isn't that you ever had a problem with Jesus or God or anything that he could do for you, but you've had a problem with the people who say they believe in Jesus or God or anything that they can do for you. But if you really want to encounter and see people's lives change and see them come into contact with who Jesus is, the life-giving Jesus, you as a Christian have to do something. You got to let your actions start to have feet. You got to let your actions take you where your words say that you're going. In other words, the first step in talking about your faith is living out your faith. And if you don't take notes, I encourage you to do so. This is a good one to write down in your journal or your Bible or your phone. First step in talking about your faith is living out your faith. And I'm not going to sit up here and say that I want you guys to just do good things, because that's not what following Jesus is about whatsoever. I'm saying that before you try to sell somebody something, they need to see that it's worth buying, right? Showing people who Jesus is doesn't need big words, it needs big actions. Okay, if Jesus gives us new life, then we as Christians need to start living that new life, right? Don't be that person who just shows up to church and doesn't curse for 2 hours and feel good about yourself, right? Don't be the person who posts selfies on Instagram or Snapchat with the Bible verse as your caption, but when you go into your classrooms, you're trashing your classmates and your teachers in your room, you talk back. Don't be that person. There's a lot of fake people in the world out there. The church doesn't need any more of them, okay? We don't want that here. What we really need is those who say that they follow Jesus to actually step up to the plate and start following Jesus and doing the things that he wants us to do and living the life that he wants us to live. The Apostle Paul talks about it a little bit. He's writing a letter to a church that's in Corinth. And he starts with the understanding that everyone in the world, at one point in their life, is going to be judged for the life that they live. And honestly, for those of you who aren't following Jesus currently, I don't want this to be like some kind of a scare tactic, like I'm just like, you need to follow Jesus or you're going to die, and you're going to die for a long time and forever. That's not what I want you to walk away with here, like understanding. But I do want to tell you what the truth is, okay? Because you're going to see that since a lot of people will be judged at the end of their lives. We as Christians want to make sure that they are going to the right place. All right? There is a massive difference between heaven and hell, and we should desperately be trying to get as many people going into heaven as possible. And I know what you're thinking, because you might be sitting back right now, just starting school, just seeing the people all around you in your classrooms, and you're just like, this guy's crazy. I'd like to keep my church life here. I like to keep it in my room, where I'm doing my quiet time, in the bathtub, where I'm putting that lap on, and I'm playing Reckless Love on my Snapchat stories. I love it. I like that version of Christian me. I don't want to talk to anybody about this, though. I don't want to have a conversation. I don't want to try to get somebody to know who Jesus is on a personal level. That's crazy. It's embarrassing. It's weird. But guys, you know what? If no one is having those conversations, if you're not sharing that with your friends and family,